to another episode of the Poker Vlog. We are at Downstream Resort and Casino, as you can see from the background. This is the place where the whole vlog began. You go all the way back to episode 1, we won $1,000 or something like that. Had a really good session and kicked things off. So we're gonna get in there. Hopefully we can replicate that session a little bit. I'm gonna be playing either 1-2 or 1-3 or 2-5 or something like that. I'm not sure what they've got running. I think there's a 5-10 game running today, which I don't think we're gonna be participating in. Gonna get in the action. Got a couple friends coming in from out of town, so gonna meet up with them and hop in this game. So before we jump into this session, first of all, things are pretty dead. We went on a Tuesday morning thinking that the action would be good since there's 5-10 running, and usually there's a bunch of games like feeding into that or just people that want to be around the big action. That does not seem to be the case in this one. I am basically the youngest player in the room by like 40 years, so yeah, not a whole ton of action, not a whole lot of splash around going on. First hand, I've got ace-10 of hearts under the gun, starting this hand off with about $280. I go ahead and open it up to 10 bucks and we get 3 callers. So we're off to see a flop, fairly standard, gonna go multi-way a lot in this session and in low limit games and in cash games at this location in general. Flop comes down ace high with 2 diamonds and 1 heart. So we're not hating that, feel pretty decent about it. Time to make a C bet. I put out $20 and only the cutoff makes the call. So we're going heads up to the turn, which comes down to 7 of clubs. So pretty much a blank, not really worried about anything yet. I go ahead and lead out for 30 bucks, hoping for a call, and the cutoff obliges once again. So we're building a little bit of a pot here, starting to feel like, who knows, maybe there's a little bit of action to be had in the room. The river comes down the 7 of spades. So not my favorite card, pairs the board here. We can be losing to a little bit. I think maybe I could just check here, but I've got an ace and a mediocre kicker. I think I can go ahead and go for a little bit more value. So I put out $35, hoping that I get called by maybe an ace of the worst kicker. I get some weird news when the cutoff raises it up to 70. So the min raise, that only means one thing when you're playing a game like this. It was early in the session. I'm used to playing a splashy home game. I go ahead and make the call, and my opponent shows me 10-7 of diamonds. So he's got trips, we lose. Fairly reasonable hand by him. He flops, flush draw, so whatever. On to the next one. A little bit later on, we look down at ace king of clubs from the cutoff. We open it up to $15. This time we're opening over some limpers, so I think it's okay to adjust my sizing up a little bit. And I get 1 limp caller. So we are off to see a flop, which comes down queen jack 4 rainbow. That's kind of a whiff, but kind of not. Obviously we have a draw to the nuts here. Weirdly enough, our opponent just sticks it all in for his last $60. So he's not going to be doing this without a pair here. This is an old player. Yeah, so just have to make the fold here. Lose a hand with ace-king after missing the flop. So, oh well, on to the next one again. A little while later, we play a pretty weird one. I've got 8-7 of diamonds from middle position. I go ahead and call $7 pre-flop, and it goes 6 ways to the flop. So yeah, very multi-way. Flop comes down, a pretty interesting one for us. Flop is ace 6-4 with 2 hearts and 1 diamond. So we've got backdoor diamonds and a gut shot to the nuts. So action checks to me. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but I decided to donk lead for $15. I mean, the game's playing very tight, so maybe I thought I could like take the initiative here. I have no idea what I was thinking. All but the early position player folds. So we do knock a whole bunch of people out of this hand. Something kind of weird happens though. Some old guy exposes 6-3 offsuit. So yeah, I don't know. That's not a whole ton of information exposed, but a little bit. The turn comes down, another 6. So the 6 of spades this time. Early position player had already checked dark. So I go ahead and continue the story that I was telling that I flopped some weird 2 pair or something like that by betting $30. The early position player tanks for a while and then makes the call. The river comes down the 7 of spades. So now we've got a pair, we've got a little bit of showdown value. The early position player had checked in the dark again. I decided to go ahead and try and blow him off his equity if he was on some sort of draw. I'm not really sure what he could have been on or what he would have had in this hand. He tanks forever, like for a long time, for like a couple minutes, which is a very long time in this game, especially facing what is not a very big raise, and makes the call and shows us ace jack. Like, I don't know what he was waiting for exactly. Like, He had ace jack of hearts. He flopped top pair in the nut flush draw. So, oh well, we lose this one. Feel very weirded out and confused. Gonna move tables and see if we can find some better action. So a good while later on, we've added on, so we're in for $600. We've got $300 in front of us. I've got ace queen offsuit, and I'm under the gun +1. The under the gun player limps. I go ahead and make it $15, which is my regular sizing over a limp, and the button is the only caller. So that's kind of weird, but not really that weird. Flop comes down, a very good one for us. Flop is queen high, but with 2 diamonds. I go ahead and lead out for $20 here, and the button calls. So we're pretty happy to get a little action. Flopping top pair, very good kicker. Turn comes down the 8 of diamonds. So it completes the front door diamond draw. We do not like that. I go ahead and bet $35 anyway. Not really sure if I like that. Maybe I should slow down here. We get some pretty aggressive or hand-changing news when he shoves all in for $300 over my $65 continuation bet. Of course, I'm just going to be making the fold here most of the time against especially this player type, which it was an entire room of the same player type. He shows us king 10 of diamonds, so sure enough, he had the goods, had the second nut flush there, so we make a good fold. Pretty irritated, we cannot get anything going our way in this session at all. A little while later, we look down at Jack 10 offsuit from the cutoff, starting this hand with about $200, and we are getting a little bit tilted and a little bit antsy. We can't pick up any hands. Things are just not going our way in this session. Under the gun limps, under the gun +1 makes it 15. I decide to call, and the under the gun player calls as well. So we're going 3 ways to the flop, which comes down queen jack 4. So we're flopping middle pair here. I don't really know how we should be feeling about this. Under the gun checks, under the gun +1 bets 25. I'm not going anywhere yet. There's obviously turn cards that can be good for us. So I call, and so does under the gun. So I guess that makes my call a little bit better. I'm not exactly sure how thrilled I should be with anything that's going on right now. The turn comes down the 9 of hearts. So we definitely add a lot of equity with that card. Under the gun checks, under the gun +1 bets $35. I think this is a spot where I should either be folding or raising. Not just calling. I think that's pretty bad. Unfortunately, that's exactly what I do. I make the call, and the under the gun player calls as well. So we're still 3-handed, going to the river, which comes down 2 of hearts. So a huge blank for me. I've got second pair here, not feeling very good about that. Under the gun checks, under the gun +1 bets $50 this time. I don't think there's anything we can do here besides fold. We're just not in a good spot. I don't think there's any way we can really have the winning hand here. Unfortunately, we don't get to see a showdown because the under the gun player also folds. So we lose that hand. Pretty sure we played it terribly, but made the correct fold on the river probably. So yikes. Things just keep going down the drain. So after a long time playing at maybe the deadest table I've ever played at in my entire poker career, I look down at 6-3 of clubs, got about $125 to start this handoff out of my $600 that I'm into the game for total. Table is limping pretty much every single hand. Someone makes it $7. I end up calling, and we're going 3 ways to a flop, which comes down a pretty good one for us. Flop is Jack 5-4 with 1 club. So we flop an open-ended straight draw and the backdoor flush draw. The only splashy, I'm using splashy very loosely here, player that maybe exists in this entire poker room right now, that's $15. I make the call, and 1 other player calls. So we're going 3 ways to a turn, which comes on the ace of spades. Obviously not a good card for us. The splashy opener goes ahead and bets $30. I should just fold here, obviously, but I don't. I call, and then the other person in the hand, some old dude, puts in $130. Obviously, I'm done with this hand. I fold, and the opener folds, and the player who ripped in $130 shows us ace jack. So he didn't 3-bet with ace jack pre-flop, nails the flop, just calls, nails the turn, and just rips it in. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not enjoying playing in this game at all, but we're going to keep sticking it out a little bit and see if we can turn things around. So a little while later, we look down at ace queen suited from the button. We're all the way down to $90. This has been one of the most depressing sessions of recent memory. There's no action. I've never felt like I could get my money back. I never felt like I was gonna make a lot of money. So yikes, we're gonna do our best never to replicate this again. Anyway, I've got ace queen from the button, starting this hand off 90 bucks. Dude looks like he wants to be in the Sons of Anarchy and has been playing really weird, like limp calling hands like ace jack, ace queen. Clearly never gonna 3-bet unless he's got like aces or kings or something like that. Super tight. Weird to see a nit that clearly rode a motorcycle here, but that's where we're at. He opens it up to 15, like 3 players call. I decide to go ahead and shove it in for my last 90 bucks. Sons of Anarchy guy calls and 1 other player makes the call. So we're off to see a flop, which comes down 9-8-4 all clubs. So a pretty bad flop for us. People start randomly turning their hands over. Ends up the Sons of Anarchy guy has pocket queens and the other player has ace jack of spades. So we are not drawing very live. Turn comes down the 10 of hearts. Now we are suddenly drawing a little bit more live. And the river is the ace of clubs. Now, I know instantly, pretty much instantly, that I lost. The guy who won the hand, the Sons of Anarchy guy with pocket queens, has no idea that he won. Flips his until he pushes his hand face up towards the middle, and somebody's like, "You have a flush, you win." I did not handle that very gracefully. Very frustrated by this session. Get up, out of there, not having a good time. Obviously very frustrated, maybe a little bit flustered from the information that was delivered to me earlier in the session, which I talked about in the intro. So we're out of here. Yikes. Down $600. What are you gonna do? Oh well. So you're all probably wondering right now why there hasn't been any table footage in this vlog. Well, the poker room manager came up to me about halfway through the session and was very insistent that I not be recording today, that I delete any footage that I had, that I don't record anything in the poker room, that I ask permission next time. Yeah, don't really know what the deal was. Not really sure why a casino wouldn't want the free publicity from a local vlogger, but apparently that is not what they're after right now. So that is why there's no hand footage from this one. We will probably be back in the home game streets predominantly moving forward so that we can have table footage. Yeah, so that's the deal with that. That's why I was a little bit flustered. Pretty annoying to have somebody come up to you and be like that. It was a pretty awkward interaction with someone I haven't really had any awkward interactions with before, so oh well, hopefully this isn't a long-term problem. But yeah, that's also where the thumbnail for the video comes from. Really sucks to not be able to record at one of the most consistently available places to play poker around me. So oh well, just a little hurdle. We will find our way around or over or under that and keep on building the channel. Planning on having table footage the majority of videos heading forward. Well guys, thanks for watching. I know this wasn't the most exciting video. Thanks for sticking it out all the way to the end if you're still here. Really appreciate the support. If you're not subscribed, if you're new to the channel, look below, click that big red subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Helps the channel grow, helps the video get recommended to more people. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. Have a new video come next week. We've got a couple of sponsorship things coming up pretty soon, which should be pretty exciting. One of them is a product I'm really excited about, so should be pretty cool. See you guys soon. Have a good one. See you next time.